I am a really big Fallout 4 fan, and the main thing I love about it is the settlement building. Another thing I really have grown to love about it is survival mode. It's a difficulty in Fallout 4, and it adds a whole new layer of things that are involved with the game. For starters, you can't fast travel or quick save. You might be thinking, if I can't quick save, how do I save my game? Well, the only way you can save your game is if you sleep in a bed. They have plenty scattered out around the map, but you have to find them, or build them in settlements. You also have to keep in mind you have to eat, drink, and sleep. Another thing about Fallout 4 is the combat. The player deals 2 times more damage to the enemy, but the damage he gives is 1.5 times more. Now I'm gonna try to make the awesomest sanctuary in Fallout 4 survival mode. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy this video. Fallout 4 begins with a guy selling us a space in the vault to avoid
total atomic annihilation. Oh God! Oh God!
I'm not giving you Sean!
That's better. Out of the vault. I ran into Codsworth and realized he was still alive, surprisingly.
Well, of course I'm still here.
Time to clean out the neighborhood. In order to find my missing son who was kidnapped, we have to go to Concord. But before that, we have to clean out Sanctuary. Time to scrape everything in Sanctuary. I started organizing some of the furniture just to make it look a little nicer for the settlers. I added my own little room. With an American flag, and I went to bed for a new day. The next day I made a sink with purified water with no pipes. I don't understand how that fucking works. Whatever, I'm gonna not question it. I started adding a place to store my weapons in this one house right here. That looks pretty badass. Time to go save the Minutemen. But before that, we ran into a dog.
Hey boy, what are you doing out here all by yourself?
I made a save at a bed. But then I got infected by an illness, which was the worst one, infection, so I had to use my only antibiotic. Time to save the Minutemen. Here we go.
Hey, up here, on the balcony.
I then went into the Concord Speakeasy to start looting the equipment there so we could upgrade my guns and just use it for, equipment. I decided to go back to Codsworth to let him know about the Concord situation. We decided to travel together.
I'd be honored to accompany you throughout the Commonwealth.
Time to upgrade my gun. And I started filling up my purified water. Time to save the Minutemen.
Time to reel him in. That about takes care of that.
No way, Preston. I'm sorry. Before I talk to you, I need to make a save. No way I'm going through all that again.
Preston Garvey, Commonwealth Minuteman.
Glad to help.
I talked to Preston Garvey, and he told me about a power armor that could be used to help kill the raiders. so I agreed to help him. There it is. Now let's go kill these raiders. I decided to go back to Sanctuary to repair my power armor. And also to grab Codsworth because he got damaged and had to go back to Sanctuary to repair.
That's why I'm here.
Right behind you, sir.
I talked to Preston Garvey.
I'm just glad you're on our side.
I talked to Preston Garvey and he told me about a settlement he was moving to, and he invited me to join.
Maybe you'll come to Sanctuary with us. We could use your help getting settled there.
Then Mama Murphy, this crazy old hag, told me about my son who is still alive. I just had to go to Diamond City.
What's in Diamond City? Is Sean there?
I then went all the way back to Sanctuary with the Minutemen and went to bed for a new day. The next day I talked to Preston and he told me about a settlement that needed help.
I've had word from a settlement asking for help.
Sturgis needs some beds for the settlers, so let's add those. I added a concrete piece right here and one over here so we could put like concrete over the playground, which I don't really like having there, and instead we can turn it into a power source. So that's where we're going to add our generators, kind of in the center of Sanctuary. I used a light to start lighting up the industrial water purifier. I started adding a gourd farm and a melon farm and started making barriers dividing up the farm. Time to add some defenses. I needed to add some ways for the settlers to get to the water, so I added a dock. Let's add a gate in front of Sanctuary to protect it a little more. And some defenses over here on this side of the Sanctuary. And let's add a little machine gun turret right here. I also want to add some houses right here so we can add shops in them later. We can add a little bar area for the settlers. And this can be like a general store right here. But we don't have the local leader 2 perk yet, so we cannot make that. We'll need a place for Brahmin right here. And my crops are already grown. Nice. I'm going to add some more houses. And one right here. And I'm going to upgrade my guns and start scraping more guns with the scrapper perk to upgrade more of my guns. And scraping more with the scrapper perk to upgrade my gun even more. And then I went to bed for a new day. It's time to go to Oberlin Station to help them with their raider problem. I went inside the mole rat den to grab some glowing fungus for antibiotics and the Fusion core. Before I want to go to Oberlin Station, there is this one thing I want to grab nearby that can give me double the meat. Sunshine Titan Co-ops has a book that if you grab it, you get double the resources from meat. And then Codsworth and I found a place, a cellar, that had a lot of materials we could use to build for Sanctuary. Time to go to Oberlin Station. I made a save, and then I went up here to get some power armor to help the Brotherhood of Steel with their ghoul problem. That didn't really help me. The power armor didn't help me because, yeah, I died. So let's try that again. And then my companion got destroyed, so now we have to repair him. But we don't have a robo repair kit, so we're gonna have to wait on that. I met a guy named Paladin Dance who was a part of the Brotherhood of Steel.
I'm Paladin Dance, Brotherhood of Steel.
I agreed to help him find a piece of technology he was looking for.
You willing to lend the Brotherhood of Steel a hand?
But before I do that, I need to go to Oberlin Station. They told us about a raider problem and I agreed to help.
If you folks are for real this time, it'd be a welcome change for the better.
Never recruit that last. Don't dare! Back, idiot!
When you turn up, dead.
After killing the raiders, I let them know about the good news.
I took care of them.
No kidding.
And then I went to bed at their settlement for a new day. The next day, I got into my power armor and returned to Sanctuary, walking my power armor all the way to Sanctuary. It took a while. Look at that rad storm. But we finally got to Sanctuary. And then I ran into Codsworth.
Codsworth.
Shall I accompany you, sir?
I talked to Preston Garvey, and he wanted me to lead the Minutemen, because he wasn't sure he was able to do it all by himself.
We need someone who can bring the whole Commonwealth together in a common cause. And I think you've got it in you to be that leader.
Mr. Garvey is quite right, sir. If anyone can unite the people, it's you.
So I agreed to be the general of the Minutemen.
That's quite a promotion you just gave me.
The leader of the Minutemen has always held the rank of general.
Another settlement has sent word that they need our help.
I decided to add heavy machine gun turrets right in front of the entrance of Sanctuary to protect it a lot more. We're gonna need to get more settlers for Sanctuary, but we don't have enough for a radio recruitment beacon. But we can still add beds to prepare for it. Let's add a watchtower right here. That would look pretty cool. With a little roof, a little house, and over it we can add like a balcony that reaches out like a watchtower. That would be pretty cool right here. But now we have to follow the law of gravity and add pillars. That looks pretty cool. A nice watchtower. Let's also power up the sanctuary and add lights. And power up all the houses. Like that. Look at the TV's on. I also want to add lights kind of along the sidewalk. And now we'll need more power, so let's add a medium generator. I don't want to use the large generator because I want to savor my materials. Now let's power up this house. That looks a little funky. Yeah, I might need to make that taller. That should be a good height. Now we got that house powered up. Let's power up this house too. And a water pump never hurt anybody. Let's add a mutt fruit garden right here. And I assigned Sturgis to the work on that garden. Let's add some corn. Let's board up the crop area. Now we'll want to add a power python switch so we can turn off and on the power whenever we want. Now we can turn off and on the power for the sanctuary IDs. Let's add a house for dog meat. And now let's add some radios around, and I also added a pool table and entertainment for the settlers. That's pretty badass. Now let's do a recap. We got our awesome watchtower right here, looking out over Sanctuary. We got a place for Brahmin. We got a nice gourd farm right here, a nice melon farm, a mutt fruit farm, and I'm gonna store my ammunition in here. And now I'm gonna go to bed for a new day. The next day I started cooking some breakfast. I decided to get the chemist perk so I can make antibiotics because I don't have any antibiotics to heal myself. So I started making all the ones I could, which used a lot of stim packs, but now we have antibiotics. I decided to travel with Preston.
Come with me. I need your help.
Sure thing, General.
I also decided to add some armor rack so we could store my attire. That looks pretty cool. We can store all our clothes on here. Now I'm gonna put some purified water away and store it.
You saved my life. Please, take this.
Don't mind if I do. Let's go into this house and see what's in here.
Excellent.
Nice. We ran into a place called Abernathy Farms.
That's close enough, stranger. We're a peaceful farm. We don't want any trouble.
I ran into a guy named Blake Abernathy who claimed his daughter was killed by raiders, and he wanted me to get her locket back from their base.
I'll get that locket back for you.
Good.
But I went back to Sanctuary to cook more food and build a little more, and add some power to more of the houses. Now it's time to go to 10 Pines Bluff to help them with their problem too.
I'm with the Minutemen. How can I help?
10 Pines Bluff wanted me to clear out a place and turn it into a settlement.
No problem. I'll take care of them for you.
I hope so.
Now, after all that exploring, we have enough for a radio recruitment beacon, which we can place. And let's board up the crop farm too. Now, let's add a bar. Oh, we don't have enough copper to power it up. But we can go to bed for a new day. I started scraping a bunch of things at Red Rocket Truck Stop, just to get more supplies for the settlement. Now it's time to get the locket back for Abernathy Farms. I found a bed where I could make a save.
Stand down.
I also decided to go over here to get a power armor so I could be able to carry more stuff. We started heading back to Sanctuary. Preston then felt a little more comfortable opening up to me about how the Minutemen fell apart.
They were supposed to put their duty to the people ahead of everything else. You probably think I was pretty naive, huh? I still believe that the Minutemen can be what I always thought they were.
I added a scavenging station, which apparently gets you more supplies, and I added more furniture around this house. And then I started adding a platform on top of this house. And this is where I'm going to add the barber shop. And I started adding a platform on top of the house. And then I started adding walls. That looks pretty badass. Now let's add a barber station, but that's pretty bland. Let's add some decoration on the walls and some furniture so the settlers can wait to get their haircut. Now let's go return the locket to Abernathy Farms.
That's great news.
I started scraping everything at Abernathy Farms and clearing out the settlement for supplies. There, that looks pretty cool. A barber sign at Sanctuary. And then I went to bed for a new day. The next day, I decided to travel with Codsworth.
Please do.
Splendid!
I upgraded my power armor, and got inside of it, and now it's time to go to Paladin Danse to help him with his mission. I know this game too well by now. I know that a rad scorpion comes out here. And then Codsworth got damaged again. Great. I'm sorry, Codsworth. I guess I'm gonna have to do this mission without you. Bye-bye, buddy.
You ready to move out?
Ready?
Outstanding.
I started following Paladin Danse so we could get the technology he needed for the Brotherhood. And then we finally made it to Arcjet, where the technology was. Paladin Danse told me about synths, created by the Institute. After getting the deep-range transmitter, Paladin Danse offered me to join the Brotherhood of Steel.
You could join the Brotherhood of Steel.
I'd be honored to join.
That's what I wanted to hear. Meet me back at the police station and we'll discuss the details.
I found a bed I could make a save at after all that progress. And then I started heading back to Sanctuary. I started putting my junk away, and then I reunited with Codsworth again.
Yes.
It will be my pleasure.
I added a bar for Sanctuary, because we have the local leader 2 perk now. This settlement is coming along nicely. I added lights around the settlement, and then I went to bed for a new day. Today is the day I go to Sunshine Tidings Co-op, and then I'm going to go to Diamond City, where I can find more information about Sean. Then after that, we can go to Ten Pines Bluff to let them know about the good news, and then back to Sanctuary. So let's go to Sunshine Tidings Co-op.
Careful now.
I started scraping a bunch at Sunshine Tidings Co-op, and then I started adding a gourd farm.
Come out of here, scallywag. Yeah. You want this one back? Knock that out.
I ran into a settlement called Grey Garden, run by robots, and they needed help with the water filter, so I decided to go help them. I returned to the Brotherhood, and they let me know about the good news, and they let me join the Brotherhood.
I'm granting you the rank of Initiate. This is only a training rank.
Paladin Danse sent me off to these 2 guys that gave me missions. Knight Reese, who is kind of a dick, and this other girl, who gave me a mission. It's time to go to Diamond City. Behind the CIT ruins is a bed we can use to make a save. And then I died. We made it to Diamond City, and there was this girl who was bitching at the door, and she let us into Diamond City somehow.
Another great day in Diamond City.
And then we met the mayor of Diamond City, who seemed a little shady, but he welcomed us into the city.
I have an idea for an article you'd be perfect for.
Started doing some trading at the city, and I did the interview with Piper, because then we can use her as a companion. And then I went to bed for a new day at the Dugout Inn. The next day I decided to go to Nick Valentine's detective agency, but too bad he was kidnapped. Now we have to go rescue him.
Nick should be easy to spot.
I went back to Oberlin Station and added some defense there. Now it's time to go back to the sanctuary. Piper and I ran into these guys that were holding up the store because they didn't get the money after they sold her son drugs, which is weird.
You'll get your damn money, but I better not catch you selling chems to my boy again.
Now we're going back to Ten Pines Bluff to let them know the good news.
Nice to have some good news around here for a change. By the way, we've decided to support the Minutemen.
I added some defense at Ten Pines Bluff. Now it's time to go back to Sanctuary. Here we are. Oh wait, I think there should be a sign right here. There we go, that looks better. I added a general store, and I also added a clothing store. Preston told me about the castle that we should retake. Pretty much it was the Minutemen's HQ before it got taken over by sea animals, and he thinks it's a good idea to retake it right now.
I've always wondered if losing the radio station was the beginning of all our later problems. So, should I have an assault force assemble near the castle?
Yeah, let's do this.
We'll do some recon and meet you outside the castle.
Now we survived 10 days so far in Fallout 4 survival mode. But if my time in the Commonwealth has taught me one thing, it's that war never changes.